This book is actually a collection of my articles. This is the third book in a series which I wrote on the election. My first book, which I consider monumental, An Undocumented Wonder, The Making of the Great Indian Election, which explains the India's elections, the evolution right from the Constituent Assembly debates. Now, this book is a collection of my published articles. So now, obviously, the newspapers will publish an article on subjects which are controversial, which are urgent. So suddenly something happens, some party breaks up, somebody defects. I get phone calls from the newspapers. Please write an article in 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe by tomorrow. So it's a collection. So all those eventful things are here. When I was writing this book, I have two critics, resident critics, my wife and my daughter. So my daughter questioned the name. She said, why do you call it experiment? We are an established democracy, 70-year-old democracy, and you are calling it experiment. So I had to explain to her, and that is the question which Mandira also asked. The reason is that when we chose democracy, it was considered an experiment. And in fact, it was considered a misadventure, a wild experiment. And the Western world thought that we have gone mad. Why? Because that was the time when 86% of our population was illiterate. We were socially divided. We were extremely poor. 565 princely states. And we were going through the throes of partition. At that time, to choose democracy, that was it's indeed an experiment. And if the Western world thought that we are going to flop in no time, we proved the prophets of doom wrong the very first attempt. Second thing, the important thing is that when we chose democracy, we gave equal voting rights to men and women. You might take it for granted today, but if I tell you the context, why this is very important. Very often I've been asked this question, even USA doesn't use EVM, why do you use EVM? Now, I tell them that USA took 144 years to give equal voting rights to women, and we gave it on the day one. So, therefore, it's not that we have to learn everything from them. Secondly, in 19 years of our republic, we had a very powerful woman prime minister. In 250 years, US has not had a woman president. So who has to learn from whom? And actually, I've received lots of requests, mostly in jest, but sometimes seriously, after the Florida fiasco of 2000, that why don't you come and conduct the US elections? Now, imagine Donald Trump, before the election, he said, if the results go against me, I will not accept it. Can you imagine that happening in India? In India, the loser hand over the chair with folded hand to the winner with dignity. The transition of power has been so smooth all these 75 years. So therefore, actually, this experiment has been greatly successful. The very first election by the first Chief Election Commissioner, Sukumar Sen, since he was not in the age of media, not many know about him, he did a wonderful job. 80% of what we do today was founded by him from scratch. There was no experience, no experiment, no staff, no nothing. He created out of nothing. We need to applaud him.